Hey, so I'm doing a quick reading vlog update about reading this book, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So I'm about 40% into the book now, and things have definitely moved along quite a bit, which I'm actually going to be touching upon some spoilers here. So if you want to be completely blind into going into the book, you probably shouldn't watch this. But where I've gotten to the point where the story of when Addie actually meets her love interest, Henry, and it turns out he is the only person that she has ever interacted with since she's made the deal with that demon who granted her a wish of essentially immortality. But unfortunately, everyone that she encounters and meets instantly forgets her as soon as they turn their back to her or they walk through a door, and she is incapable of leaving her mark in any way, shape, or form in the world or being able to tell her story. She can't even utter her name to anyone else until she meets Henry in 2014. And the book dates back into like the 1700s. So she's been alive for over 300 years, and for the first time, Henry is the only person that remembers who she is able to say her name, and she's able to say her name to him. And the way that V. Schwab captures the elation and the relief and the fear that this woman has had such a lonely and isolating life, but yet was able to find this human connection, and it kind of shifts her entire world, and you feel relief for her as a reader, but it's also so sad. And I get the sense that we're not being told everything that there is about Henry. Henry seems really nice, and he seems like just an ordinary human, but there seems to be a lot of big anvils that are dropping that there's something different about him. And it's not just happen chance that he is the only person in centuries that has been able to remember Addie and to connect with Addie or Adeline in such a way. So I've heard that there is a twist in this novel, and the twist seems pretty obvious, so it actually might not be what I'm thinking, and there might be another level to it. And there's just a really melancholy sense while reading this that this will ultimately may not have a happy ending, but I just find it really remarkable how V.E. Schwab is able to capture the isolation of this curse that Addie has lived with, and how painful it is for her to form human connection and to have it slip through her fingers, only to now finally find someone that she can build a relationship with. But him being the only one, there's so much pressure that if things were to fall out, who would she be left with? And would she be damned for isolation? And the book actually goes into like a really interesting cat and mouse game with her and the demon that she struck a deal with. It's so interesting because she envisioned like this dream man in her mind, kind of scratched him on paper while she was still dealing with the fact that her parents, when she was back in her hometown, she had dreamt of this perfect guy, and the demon kind of manifests himself into looking like this sketch that she made time and time again. And it turns out coincidentally that Henry looks a lot like this image that she drew out from her mind. Anyways, the relationship she has with the demon is just really complex. And she was so lonely, she almost wished to see this demon that would show himself once every year to kind of ask her, hey, have you given up yet? Has this been enough torture for you? Are you going to give me your soul in full so that we can end this charade and that I can collect what I initially was promised from you for this life of immortality? And it's just a really interesting interplay of emotions. I can't get over it. It's such a cool book. So like I said, I'm 40% in. I'm taking a break because I've been kind of binge watching The Good Place, which I initially wanted to watch in its initial run, but I kind of fell off early season one or not even early, sorry, late season 1 going to season 2. So I finally have got to the point where the big reveal happens, and now I'm just binge watching that. But this is really fascinating book. I'm probably gonna do like a final video about my overall review of it. But let me tell you, this is such an interesting book. I can see why there's so many rave reviews. I'm just hoping that getting beyond the 50% point that I'll still stick with it, because there's still a lot to go, and it can go either way. Like, I think I figured out the twist, if there is such a twist, but it may be red herring, and it might be just something that was just thrown out to the reader to make it seem obvious, but then completely turn everything upside down. So I don't know. So I'm done with my long rambling. That's it for this video. Thank you. I hope you check out the next one. It might be an art upload, or it might be a final review of this book. We'll see. Anyways, bye.